Okay, well, without any further ado, I'm going to hand things over to Christy. Christy, thank you so much for being here.
You're welcome, Jane. It's a pleasure to be here and help out our families and get those grades reported.
Yes, indeed. Alrighty, everyone.
So,
I also want to just let you know one last thing. This webinar will be recorded and we'll post the video on demand to our YouTube channel, which go ahead and subscribe to if you're not already.
yeah,
That's
definitely.
youtube.com/HomeLife Academy. We'll see you there. All right, bye, everybody.
Awesome. Thanks, Jay. All right. So, welcome everyone. I see lots of people from Tennessee. And oh, do we have someone from South America? Wow. All right. Well, I am Christy Gaddy. I am AppleCore support with Home Life Academy. And I have been doing these webinars for the last couple of years. Have tried to make it as easy as possible to help you guys get everything reported. Now, I will go ahead and mention some of you I see from South Africa, Philippines, and different places. Some of this may not apply to you specifically. You can still utilize the options and things. Sometimes our international families like this will report a little bit differently. And so if you are seeing the instructions and you're not familiar with it, then reach out to our global team. Like I said, some of them is sometimes it's a little bit different, but they will be happy to help you with those specific ways to report international grades and everything. But I will do my best and we will see what we can do. What I would like to do first of all is to share my screen with you, and we are going to get started. Let's see. Okay, so I hope you all can see my nice Zoom link here. And I am going to go over to our account. This is actually my test account that I use for these webinars and things like that. I'm going to log out so that you can see when you go to homelifeacademy.com. This is not the page you'll see. This is what happens when I've logged out. But if you go to our website, the login information goes into the top right corner of that web page. You'll see where it says member login. I can show, let me see if I can show that to you really quickly. So this would be our Home Life Academy web page. Here you can see, and here is our member login up here at the top. You would just click that and then it would take you to the login. But I am just going to do this because it's already saved right here. So this is what your family homepage, your HLA homepage looks like. And hopefully that you all have been able to see this, beforehand as you registered and things like that. Maybe you've already put in your fall grades, and we'll talk about a couple of different things. But here is what your family homepage looks like, and you have lots of different things to look at here and explore. You can't break our website, so feel free to click into them and see what the different things are, especially here when you make a request for something on your account. This is where you would create it. Here is where you could view it. And I will go ahead and let me click that. See, this is what it's going to look like, whatever request you've made and the status of that request. And then you can view into that. Okay, so we're going to go back home. And as you can see, my account right now says pending grades. That is to show you, and I'm going to click here down at the bottom, click the green apple into AppleCore, and I have a submit for approval button here. It should say active. I should have had that fixed to active. So for spring, hopefully you're showing active status, and then this is the green button you're going to see here. If you have not reported fall grades, this button is going to say submit grades and attendance. And I just want to mention real quick, I do have all this information in email format. It's step by step, starting from the beginning all the way down to reporting and getting everything submitted. So if you would like that, after the webinar or during, you can send me an email and just let me know that you would like those AppleCore instructions to keep as a future reference or whatever you need. But I can get that to you. I do want to mention, first off, the most important thing right now is to not use a mobile device. We are really working hard, and our development team is really working hard to get our AppleCore compatible with cell phones and iPads and different things like that. It's just not quite there. The programming is just a little bit difficult for them. So use a laptop, use a desktop, and then you shouldn't have any problems. Now, I will say sometimes people have tried with their mobile device and have gotten it through, but I have heard people where they say they've got it through and have come back and it's been gone. So that's why we just say, let's not, let's work on compatibility and just use a laptop or desktop. And also, I believe maybe for Mac's Internet Explorer, not compatible at all. So use Chrome or Safari. Those are the best two browsers that we recommend for using this. Okay, so we've already got our school year. Let me go ahead in here. So we've clicked into AppleCore. Here's our student, my test student, and I'm going to click View, Report, Grades. Okay, and that's going to take us to where we have their courses listed. So I've already got my fall grades entered in. Got their credits because it's a high school student. There's a couple of different things to recognize. Let me go ahead and add a school year for an elementary student. I'm just going to click a year and we're just going to put this in. Okay, so this is like for an elementary or a middle school student. And their courses look a little bit different when we go to add the courses. You'll notice that the non-high school course button is selected, which is correct for this grade level. You still put the textbook resources in the same way. There are some trigger things to be noted when you're putting in your education plan. Please do not use TBD or undetermined or not yet determined or things like that, deciding later, not sure, things like that. Those are some triggers that our system is programmed to catch, and it will not let the registration process or the submitting process go through. So please be sure, even if it is a curriculum that you're thinking about, you're considering, put that title in there, and then you can always go back and change the curriculum later once you figure out or once you decided on what path you want to be doing with those. So just as long as you have something there. If you're going to take a class with a tutorial, that's fine. Just type the name of the tutorial right there in the resource box. That's acceptable as well, because we know that they're going to have specific resources that are there. There is a character limit in this box, so you're not going to be able to, like for your language arts, you're not going to be able to list every single reading book and every single spelling book you're doing. So just a generic, your main spine that you're going to be using for your curriculum just needs to go in this textbook resource area. And then down here at the bottom, you'll see special courses. These are not usually used by elementary students and middle school students. Sometimes there might be an honors course, and this, we have information on our website about it, how to be sure that it is honors worthy. There has to be some criteria met in order to use that special course title. MOD means it's a modified curriculum that comes under special education, and we have a wonderful counselors that can handle that and help talk you through that if you think your student is going that direction. And then, of course, our categories here. I do want to recommend that you look through each of the categories to see if your course is listed maybe under a different type of category. And we'll get into that with high school here in just a little bit. It's more so with high school that that happens. But just look through each of the categories just to be sure that, hey, oh wait, okay, it's under under a miscellaneous or under something else, and then I can choose it that way. All right, so that's for elementary and middle school up to the 8th grade. Now for 9th grade and up, you'll be using courses that have high school equivalency. And here we have a little bit more of a choice of category. Okay, so you just scroll down, you'll see the scroll bar here on the right. You'll scroll down and see what the different courses. Electives has a lot of them in there. That you might not think that they may not be under another one. Bible, same thing. You can do that. Resource area is the same. Just put the basic your basic spine of your curriculum, what you'll be using there. And the same thing for special courses here. Honors does have some qualifications and things. Dual enrollment, if you have a dual enrollment course, I want to go ahead and look here. By clicking that, if you'll read that, we have to have a transcript from the school in order to verify dual enrollment grades. And those get sent to me, to my email, or to the Records at Home Life Academy email. Either way, they get sent to me, and I go in and make sure that all of the information in AppleCore is correct. Grades match, titles match, credits match, everything like that. So that is one thing about dual enrollment there. And also with AP course, you don't have the AP course option because we have certain restrictions. If you have a student that is taking an AP course, same thing. Get me an email and I will make the adjustments in there. If they've got the score or if they've just got the grade for the course, get me a transcript and we'll make those adjustments in AppleCore for you, just so that everything lines up. Because we are not an official AP provider, we have to take certain steps with that. That's why that option is grayed out for parents. It's on our side, but it's grayed out for parents. Okay, so for dual enrollment though, we would pick a category, they're taking English composition. Here are 3 things that we need to have on here. We need to have the title, which is going to be like English composition, and then the course number. It's usually, for English composition, I've done a lot of them. It's usually ENGL for 9th grade 1010, or if it's English composition 1, it would be that. It just depends on what's on your transcript. And then of course the name of the school, the college would go down here. So that's dual enrollment, and you are welcome to put all this information in. It's fine. I still have to have a transcript sent to me in order to verify all of the grades for dual enrollment. And I will make sure that all of this is correct and the correct information is on there. Now, we also can accept an official from the college, perfectly fine. We can also accept unofficial. Sometimes colleges will send out an unofficial before they've put them on, official transcripts and everything. Or you can go through your student's portal and download a copy of a transcript. This is not the grade reporting history. I don't need to see every assignment that they've turned in with that grade. That's not the transcript. That's not acceptable. It has to be just the course history. And there are 6 things that need to be on any kind of download that you send me as a PDF. Screenshots, I really do not prefer them because a lot of times they get information cut off. Just be careful with screenshots, but this is the list of the things that have to be on an unofficial transcript. Okay, I have to have a student's name, definitely a student's name to be on it, the college name, the course title, the course number, which is like this right here. It may be math 1530, whatever the course number is. And then of course the grade and the credit. So those 6 things. And feel free to email me again if you don't get them all written down. But I have to have a student name, college name, course title, course number, grade, and credit. Okay, I need all those things. So if you are going through the student portal, you're downloading their unofficial transcript, save it, and click print and click save as PDF, and then attach that to an email to me, then we should be good to go there. All right, so that is as far as dual enrollment. And some trigger words, make sure. Now, if you're putting a dual enrollment in and you don't know their curriculum yet, that's fine. Put the name of the school in that textbook resource box again, as well as the 3 little lines on the side there. That's absolutely acceptable. Okay, so let's see. And you will also know, and I didn't put any dual enrollment in for her as an example this time. You will know that, let me see if this will let me. It's not going to save it. Okay. You will know that I have reviewed it and verified it out here to the right of the title will be a small box that has a DE in it and a small box that has a TX in it. That's dual enrollment, and that means it's transferred. That just locks it down for us. And then there will be a note here in the resource area stating the date and that I have verified it. Okay, so if you see that information, you'll know that your course has been verified, everything is fine. Of course, you can also email me and I can look that up for you. Really quick, I'm going to go back here. You'll see a button out here that says high school review. If you click that, and she hasn't had any done because this is a test account. Right in here is going to be a list of all of the reviews that get done for the student in high school. Usually we do just a general information one for 9th grade. New students for 10th grade will get one, but 11th and 12th grade get a detailed review, and it will be right here. And the counselor will have sent that and everything, and you will be able to view it. There'll be a button out here to the side where you can view it. But in this box area, there's a button that you can click here, credit summary. It takes you to this chart, and it shows you what credits are required, what credits have been completed, and that means that they have been reported, and then what's still needed. And here are your totals down here. And then you can click on here to go to a detailed summary. I'm not going to click there because there's not one in there to look at. Okay, so that's how you can get to, you can see kind of what credits your student is still lacking. Okay, special courses, categories. Yes, make sure that you're scrolling through all the categories just to be sure when you're putting your courses in. Okay, so I have already put fall grades in back by January the 15th, which is our deadline. Every year, fall grades are due by then. You are welcome to put them in like before Christmas break. I do believe that our submit button, which is going in the fall, is titled Submit Grades and Attendance. So it's a little bit different wording because we're not really doing an approval. You're just submitting them for compliancy's sake. And so that will show up there. And then it is usually active around December the 15th, I believe, somewhere between the 1st and 15th. I think they're trying a couple of different dates. But you can click it, before your Christmas break, as long as you get everything for fall, which is August 1st through December, those grades reported by January 15th. Everything will be fine. That is another busy time of year. You're welcome to email and ask questions, or call, whatever. But then your reporting will be done by January the 15th. That's why my button now is different and it's submit for approval. This is the spring button that when I report spring grades, I'll click this and everything should go through. Okay, so I am going to report my spring grades now. So I have clicked into my homepage, I've clicked into AppleCore, I've clicked into my students view report grades, and I'm now here at this screen ready to take my list of grades and put them in. So what I want you to do is to forget about this button right here. Edit course is going to change your information you have. Okay, this for spring, pretend it doesn't exist. Okay, we're going to go to the next button that says add semester. So English is an all-year course. We've reported fall. Now we're going to report spring by clicking add semester. And this box comes up. Now you'll notice there's a grade already there. That is from the fall. Okay. But if the grades change, let's say she did much better in the spring and we're going to give her an A, change it there. And we're going to select spring. Our credit value is already there. So we're going to leave that alone. We don't need to worry about transfer credit because that really doesn't have anything to do with us right now. We don't have any special courses, so we don't have to worry about that. And we're just going to click save. All right. And now you'll notice I have an English 10 for fall and an English 10 for spring. So simple. Now I'm going to jump down to the next fall course, geometry. Go all the way out. Remember, forget this button is there. Pretend it's not there. click the add semester. We're going to put in our spring. Did the same grade. We're just going to leave it the same. Select the spring semester and save. Okay. And now we're going to go down, make sure we jump down to the next course, because if you are clicking the same button, it's just going to keep adding for that course. So go down to life science. I always put my cursor on, drag it all the way out to that second button, and then select my semester and save. Jump down to history. She liked it, but didn't do quite as good in it. So we're going to give her a B and spring, and then save. Make sure you click that save button every time. Okay, so now you can see all 4 of my courses have 2 lines per course. I have a fall grade and a spring grade for every course. This is correct. Okay, this is how you do it. This is how it should look at the end. And so we have finished reporting, and it's the same way for elementary. You're reporting it the same exact way. You just don't have the credit values to worry about with elementary and middle school. This is just basically for high school. It doesn't even show up as an option when you're adding your grades in an elementary student. So we could go ahead and we'll just put in a grade here. We're going to use Abeka. Let's go with, because we have to have a math, let's put a math in, and she just did general math, and we're going to add that course, and we're not going to add any more. Okay, so this is an elementary, middle school type course. For fall, if I had done fall, I would go in here. I'm going to give her an A, give her a semester for fall. See, credit is grayed out. It's not an option. Okay, and then we're going to click save. And so this is if we had done it in a previous school year. Okay. And so it's going to look the same exact way for elementary and middle school. The only thing is that high school has these credits applied to it. So we've gotten all of our grades put in. We've gotten, we've got a fall and a spring grade for everything that we've done all year. Now we're going to go up here and click this green clock up here at the top. Okay. In this toolbar, click the clock. And you'll see, oops, I forgot to put in my attendance for fall. That's okay. Click it, click fall, put your days in. Okay. And we realize, I mean, there are people out there that check off a day every day they do school, and that is great if you can do that. I prefer just putting in the number of days. I don't have a calendar check off. I just know that I'm going to get between August and December, I'm going to get 90 days at least. And between January and May, I'm going to get 90 days. So I'm going to go ahead and put spring in, and I'm going to put 90 down for her spring. All right. And that's going to show up any second now. Maybe. Anyway, you'll see it. It'll pop up here. I don't know why it's being slow. So your attendance is 180 days. You can go through the summer. I will tell you, if you have pre-registered for the next school year, that let me see if I can refresh that. If you pre-registered for the next school year, it is going to be looking for a couple of different things. I think I'm going to have to reopen it. Okay, technical difficulties here. Let me get this back open. Where'd it go? Didn't do this earlier. Oh, good. Okay, it's going to let me. Okay, so let's get back in here to AppleCore. Let's see if, okay, there's our attendance. There we go. Sorry about that. So 180 days is the required number of days of schooling. And if you do go through the summer, it's okay. You do not have to report summer, but for the sake of pre-registration and getting it pushed through for submitting, you need to have the 180 days in the fall and the spring. Okay, you can add another semester. You can add summer on here and add 80 is okay. We just don't want to see less than 180. fine. Go ahead and enter what we call a point grade that your student has. That's point in time. You could go ahead and enter that. You could continue working through the summer if you want, and you have an option to do that. And an option for reporting would be to go back and adjust the spring grade. Let's say in geometry, we didn't finish, but I put my point in time grade so that I could submit on time. But we finished through the summer, another 30, 45 days, and she got a better grade. You have the ability to go back in here, clicking the spring semester, edit course grade, and adjusting this, okay? You have this option, and then click save. Now, you can leave this, let's say, spring semester, she got the C. So you can leave it and then add another semester, calling it summer, changing the grade, but you have to adjust this credit down to 0.25, and you would have to adjust the spring semester down to 0.25. High school classes cannot earn more than 1 credit. So if we have the fall at half, spring at a quarter, summer at a quarter, if you don't want to hassle with the credits, then leave them like this, work through the summer, come back in if she got a better grade, and just change this grade. Okay? Now, if all that was confusing, just take it step by step. Email me, say, hey, I didn't understand, credits and all that for working through the summer. Basically, you just want to make sure that your course, whether 2 semesters or 3 semesters, that the credit value out here to the right only equals 1 full credit. You don't want to go over. Okay. Let's see. Excuse me there. All right. So, be sure that you're clicking that add semester button out here to add these spring grades. So just remember that there will be a submit button for each semester. When you register with us at the beginning of the year, the 2 deadlines are January 15th for fall, June 15th for spring. There will be a submit button back here on this first page that is green. There will be a submit button for each semester. And they usually pop up, this one, the submit grades and attendance pops up in December for reporting by January. And then this one usually pops up the June the 1st for reporting. Okay, so if you report in May, just remember you have to come back in and click it. The spring button, this button is looking for 4 different things, or for several things. Number 1, it is looking for a new enrollment, okay, a pre-registration, which I have not done yet on this student, okay? So, and it's going to show you here in just a minute. It's looking for the 22-23 school year, which we have. It's looking for grades. There must be at least 2 fall grades and 2 spring grades, but there needs to be 5 total. So you're going to have more, like there's 4 here and 4 here. That's fine. You have to have at least 4 courses every year. High school, you're going to have a little bit more, no more than 8 per year. And English and a math are required for every single student every single year. Okay, elementary, middle school, high school. They have to have a math and an English every year. And then at least 2 other subjects. Okay, it can be any subjects of your choice: science, social studies, art, music, Bible, PE, any of those electives. Okay, so you have to have at least 2. So that's going to give you all of the required number that the system is looking for. All right, and then your attendance, it's going to be looking for the 180 days total for attendance. I'm going to delete that because we're not going to do summer. Okay. So if you have pre-registered, it's looking for your registration for the next school year, which here will be 23-24. It's looking for your grades, at least 5 reported grades for the 22-23 school year. It's looking for your attendance for fall and for spring. And it is also looking for your new education plan. Now you think, well, I don't have that yet. I don't know what that is. That's fine. Just realize it needs to be put in by that last week of July, before August the 1st. We could get a system crash right on August the 1st because everybody's waiting and putting it in. So that could cause delays, and we don't want that to happen to you all. So getting it in sometime this summer, even if, like I said, you don't know, you're looking at a curriculum, you're contemplating it, you're thinking about it, put that in there because you can adjust it later once you have finally decided. To do that, you're going to click this add year. So once you get your grades in here, you don't touch this anymore. Okay, none of this gets messed up or touched anymore. Your new school year is going to be clicking add year. You're going to select the new school year, 23-24, the next grade level, which is 11th. And then we're going to click this little button here, add year. It pops up over here. We know we're in order. Okay. And then we're going to click return to students, or you can click the student button here. And then we have our new school year added. And this is where you'll put in your courses for fall. Okay. At least your English and math and your other courses. Okay. And remember what I said, scroll, look at all the categories, and even click on here. You can see all the courses. It won't hurt. It's not going to mess anything up. You can click on all of these and look at them. Okay. It's not going to mess anything up. Then you'll select, okay, well, they're going to take a driver's ed course. You'll put your resource in there, and then you'll click add course, and it will show up. Okay. So I do believe that is everything that I can think of. Let me see my notes. Okay, so if you have multiple students, let's say you have 3 or 4 students, most of them are in elementary school, you may have 1 or 2 high school students, but you have a senior that is graduating this year. You're going to report their grades the same, okay? And then once you have reported all of their grades and attendance for the senior, you're going to click, sometimes this is early May, late April, you'll click here back on your family homepage, and you're going to click create request, and you're going to put in your diploma, alphabetical order. You're going to put in your diploma request. Okay. There are instructions. Please read through those instructions, follow everything on here, and everything will go fine. Now, what will happen is your 12th grade transcript review has already been done for the year, most likely, and the counselor has either set it for ready for graduation, or they have put in some action items, some notes that need to be taken care of. Then, get those worked out with the counselor, get them completed, whatever. And then you can still put this request in. It will not be processed until the counselor is satisfied that the student is ready for graduation. Okay. If there's any dual enrollment courses, those courses, this will not be processed until those courses are verified, and I need the transcripts to verify those. Okay. So be sure that you're reading everything in here, following the instructions. And once you get that done, you do not have to hit the submit for approval button yet. It's going to include your student once you have everybody else reported, but you don't click that before all of your reporting is done. That's what I'm trying to get at. If you have a senior and that's the only one graduating, you would go ahead and put that diploma request in, and it takes care of reporting that, submitting them pretty much. Let's see. So for fall, remember, you're going to hit the edit course button. For spring, you're going to forget that button is there. You're going to hit the add semester button. Your attendance goes in the green clock at the top. Please make sure that you're putting all textbooks and resources in when you're adding your courses. because, and not using the trigger words, be real careful. And no 2-character resources, like for classical conversations, a lot of people will just put CC. It's not going to it'll catch it, and it's not going to let you go through. So, and like teaching textbooks, don't just put T and T. Write it out. I know it's a lot, but write it out. And let's see. Special courses, as I mentioned, the AP courses, you can put them in as honors. Select the honors, and you can make a note in the textbook resources that this is an AP course taken such and such. You can put that in there, but get me transcript to me, and I can get it. I get titled correctly after I verify that. Dual enrollment, that has to have a transcript as well. Okay, I think I've gone through all of my notes. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen and give you an opportunity, if needed, to maybe put in the chat there. Let's see, questions and answers. Let me get those pulled up. Okay, so a good question. How do I fairly grade if I'm not using a curriculum that gives a guidance? That is a great question. Because we're so flexible with homeschooling, that's a great question. I put it this way: when I was doing some courses that did not have a guidance like that, if I have set a goal for the student, say I want them to write so many papers, whatever your goal is, if they reach that goal in a good amount of time, they are putting their best effort in, they're doing all the things, then give them an A. You're free to do that. If they only reached partial goal, consider how far, how many letters down you want to go. Okay. If they did not do anything in it, then grade accordingly, how you feel that they should get. So that was the anonymous attendee. If there is not a specific grading guideline, you have to grade with your heart, I guess. Cooks always say measure with your heart. You have to kind of just decide, okay, this is the goal I have set. This is how far they got. They didn't do much, so I'm going to give them a C. Okay. And that could change, you know, throughout that time, throughout the next semester, it could change. So that's kind of how you have to handle those. All right. So Miss Thelma Clement, we started in the fall and went back to public the beginning of December. I did not report attendance or grades for fall. Do I still need to have this done? Went back to homeschooling mid-April. Okay, so attendance, you're only going to report attendance for when you were actually registered with HomeLife Academy. Any attendance that you did at a public school will be reflected within those records that we receive once we get them back in to put in the student's file. As far as reporting fall, you went back at the beginning of December, so you should report all of your fall grades and attendance. You should probably go ahead and you could probably get away with putting 90 in for fall. Coming in mid-April, that's January, February, March. You are not going to report 90 days. You might want to report 45, half of the semester. And then if you have high school students, we'll get records and we will make sure that the grades, because they're not going to give credit probably for that partial spring semester, we would have to look at combining their grade with your grade to get that spring grade. But I can look at that. Thelma, if you want to email me, just let me know to look at your account. I can do that as well. And I hope that helps. I know it's kind of hard when they're jumping in and out in the same school year. We have to do certain things with the grades and everything because public schools will not give credit for high schoolers for partial semesters. Okay, so Mandy Elliott, my daughter is starting kindergarten for 23-24 school year. Okay, because we wanted to school year round, we have started now and I'm logging our attendance already. How do I go about reporting her attendance for June and July? You will not report June and July because that goes back to the 22-23 school year. You just keep those days and you just add them into your fall semester come January when you report. Anything for summer always goes back to the previous year. It never goes into the next school year at all. You can still do kindergarten work. That's fine. We're always learning especially with elementary. You're just not going to report anything until January. So I hope that helps Mandy get that answer. South Africa reporting for the first time now for spring. However, I do not have a submit for. Okay, so Wilna, I'm going to butcher it. I am so sorry. Liebenberg, South Africa. Anything out of the country, especially Africa, over on the other side of the world, I guess you could say, reach out to the global team. Their email is just global@homelifeacademy.com, and they will give you specifics. We have found that certain countries have specific ways of reporting, so they will definitely be able to help you with that. So I hope that answers that for South Africa, Philippines, any international country other than U.S., reach out to that global team, and they will definitely give you instructions. Okay. Okay, so an anonymous attendee, for some reason in AppleCore, it's showing duplicates of my daughter's spring courses. So I just complete the spring grade and delete the duplicate row. Yes, you can, as long as you have your fall grades in, that's fine. Okay, so she was in public school in fall. So yes, you will not report those. If it's a high school student, we will get transcripts and I will actually be the one to put those grades in for fall. So you only report for the times that you are registered with Home Life Academy. Anything else outside of the registration will be reflected in the records that we do receive. How do I use edit course add semester? Okay, if it is your first semester, so you registered with us just in the spring. Great question, Wilna. If you are reporting for the first time ever, and it's in the spring, you still use that edit course. You're not going to add a semester with that. So the first time you report, whether it be starting with us in the beginning for fall or you come to us for the second semester for spring, the first time you report, you will click that edit course button. The add semester is for those that have submitted grades in the fall and are now submitting spring grades. That's what the add button is for. How do I set up a course if there is no book or resources to list? Unschooling activities, great question as well. If you are an unschooler, that's fine. We are okay. What you would do is you would just list a few of the activities that you plan to do throughout that school year. What are you going to accomplish in that school year or in that semester? And yes, you can count 90 days per semester for unschooling, even if it's not book work. Absolutely. Like I said, we're always learning, especially with younger children. We're always doing something. We're always teaching them how to tie their shoe, clean their room, make their bed, pick up their toys, help mom in the kitchen, grocery shop, pick out things and find the cheapest, cheaper of the two products, things like that. You're always teaching. It may not be a specific category and course, but you're always teaching. So yes, if you're unschooling, just give a list. Like I said, you still have to have a math and a language arts. So you would need to be creative. Like in your math, you could say helping with the grocery shopping and, finding the best price for products. English, you could combine it with your science. You're out doing a science project and, you're looking for different leaves. And then for English, you could put in there, writing a report after doing a nature study or something to that effect. We do have a very good counselor that helps with unschooling. Phyllis Laro is a great counselor with that. And also Lonnie Carey. Both of those are high school students, counselors. For elementary, I believe Beth Jameson takes care of those. But you can reach out to us and we will get you sent to the correct counselor that will help your needs. But yes, unschooling is fine. We've got a lot of unschoolers. And for resources, like I said, you're just going to give a list of some of the activities that you're going to accomplish during the school year. All right, Heather, my son is registered for 9th grade this upcoming year, but he's worked through Algebra 1 and 2 in his 7th and 8th grade. Okay, so this is where you can get early credit. And like I showed with that 8th grade course, where the non-high school button was selected, the one right above it is high school. So you can click that, and then all the categories on the right will change. Let me see if I can, let me share my screen with you again really quick, and we will look at that. So let me get back over here into AppleCore. All right, so let's say, let me see if I can, let me just delete this one really quick, and I will get to your questions, I promise you folks. No, I'm gonna have to redo it. Okay, so here, I'm just gonna put Abeka. So here we have, this is an 8th grade course. Non-high school is clicked. You just simply click this button. It's going to give you information to look at what is eligible and what is not eligible for early credit. And this is years of research. Colleges won't accept them. It's just not preferred. Okay, so read that list and you'll see what it is. And then we're going to go to math and we're going to pick Algebra 1. Be very, very careful. And I'll go ahead and warn you, you said 7th and 8th grade. Be very careful with trying to get early credits in 7th grade. We have found a lot of colleges will not accept 7th and 8th grade courses. We as HomeLife Academy are okay. We'll put that on there. We'll represent that for you. But just be prepared in your later college year or later high school years to take an extra math or two, depending on how you've got it. Okay, so we've got Algebra 1, add that course, and here you'll see the difference in the two courses. Here I have a K through 8 math, no credit. Here's our Algebra 1, okay, semester, and here our credit is not grayed out, so that's where we'll put in half a credit. So those are the differences you'll see. K through 8 shows up for kindergarten through 8th grade. No credits are applied or an option. It's when you change it to that high school course, that's when your credit is now an option and it changes right here. Okay, so I hope that helps clearing that up a little bit. Okay, so Jennifer or Heather, that's how you would put those algebra in. Add a new school year for 8th grade, add the new school year for 7th grade, and then put those two courses in. And I'm assuming that if they were homeschooled, you may want to contact the admissions department just to see if there's any charge to add those courses in. I don't know that sometimes there are, sometimes if there's just one or two, we allow that to go by with the transcripting fee. But for that, that's an admissions question, not for me. All right, Janny Herbister. We have incomplete credits and grades due to withdrawal for fall. Began HLA in 23. No, if you were not registered for fall, then you cannot report it. We cannot represent that. You would just complete the course in the spring and use the full credit. So I'm assuming that you were registered with another school in the fall and came to HomeLife Academy in the spring. If that's correct, then we would need to get records from the previous school or umbrella, wherever you were registered. If you were independently homeschooling, that's another question for admissions as to what to do for that. But if you finished up in the spring, then you would just report in the spring. Okay, nothing for the fall. You're welcome, Wilna. I'm glad I could help. I also asked the child how much they have understood, and it says that is a great way to do that. The anonymous question there. Yes, that is acceptable if, and like we don't require any kind of testing at all. So that kind of assessment is absolutely acceptable. And then you can just put the grade in according to the feedback that you get from the student. Yes, that is fine. And Elise, do I understand correct that when finishing a year's work, there is one subject not completed? I just enter a point. Yes, you would just enter a point in time and then, yeah, work through the summer and then you can complete that as much as you want. Yes, that's fine. And also realize public school students, they don't finish their textbook ever at all that I have ever seen. So if you're getting near the end and you are 75 to 80% done with your textbook, that's okay. You can go ahead and put that point in time grade, work on a couple weeks in the summer, adjust the grade if you need to, and then just don't worry about it. The only time that you cannot go back in and adjust a grade is if we have sent a transcript to someone. If you've withdrawn, we're sending it to a new school, or you're graduated and we're sending transcripts out for diplomas. That's the only time that you cannot go back in and change a grade. As long as you're registered with us, you're fine. You can go back in and adjust that later as soon as it's completed. Good question, Annalise. Lisa White, how do you update teaching materials from fall to spring semester? If they change, you would click that add semester button, put your grade and everything in there, and then once that you have saved that, then you can click that edit course button, and that will bring up your the information. Let me show you again. So here we've got English 10, fall and spring. Spring, I used a different resource. I'm clicking edit course here. Here's my resource, and I can change that to Abeka if I switched curriculums, and then click save. So see, now my English has 2 different curriculums. That's fine. We understand not all curriculum is great for everybody. You may start off great. It may go south and you need to change. That's fine. That's how you would change that in there. Report your grade, put all that in, and then go back in and click this first one to edit it, and then you can change that. Great question. Let's see. That's updating. Okay, Laura, do I list grades for courses my child took in homeschool co-op, or would I include participation in a co-op class as part of our curriculum for relevant subjects? He took backyard biologist at local children's museum. Since that could be part of your resource, I don't know that I would consider that a course all on its own. Most courses, have to go the whole year. If it's an elementary, if he's taking it with a co-op, just put the name of the co-op in there and give him the grade. That's fine as your resource. If it's just part of a subject that you are doing, then list it in your resources, backyard biologist, children's museum, along with your other resources. Correct, Kirsten Cohn. If you do anything June or July, it always goes back to the previous year, never to the year upcoming. Our school year starts August 1st, so anything before August 1st goes back. If you were not registered, don't worry about reporting it. But if it's something you've done in June and July and you're continuing through the fall, then you would wait and report that in with your fall grades by January. So yeah, just June and July always goes back to the previous year. And just remember, the new school year, when you would start reporting, start your planning for reporting, always starts August the 1st. August the 1st. Oh, my email address, very easy, Christy@HomeLifeAcademy.com, and my name is spelled CHRISTY. I will try to put that down here in the chat, maybe see if that way you can get it there. Make sure I got that right. Okay, so there's my email address if you need that. And like I said, if you want those instructions to keep as a reference, send me an email and I will shoot those over to you very quick. Portfolio. I am so glad you brought that up, anonymous attendee. I did not get into that. Portfolio is mainly for high school students. It's kind of like their extracurricular resume, we kind of call it, things that may not necessarily get a grade. A lot of 4-H, a lot of any awards that they've received, recitals, different things like that. My oldest daughter, she had written a poem in English class and we sent it off and it actually got published in a book. So we put that in her portfolio. She was also with some 4-H, so we did that, put some 4-H in there. We do have an example on our website. If you'll go in the search bar on the top, I believe you can type in just portfolio. It'll take you to that, or type in transcripts in portfolio or something, and it should take you to that. It should jump you right over to that page, and there is an example that you can click on there. Not to finish Latin complete. I am sure. Yes, I agree. That is one thing I did not push on my kids was Latin. All right. So portfolio is mainly for extracurriculars, things that are not graded, that would not receive a grade. Yeah. So if you were working with a homeschool tutorial, they choose the curriculum, but you ended up not using some, you can absolutely take that out. Absolutely. Just take it off your list. And you'll click that edit course button and go in there and adjust the textbook resources. Yes. And at least you're quite welcome for the advice and the time. I'm always there to help if you need it. Okay, so I think I'm ready to submit for approval now. It's saying something about re-enrollment. Okay, so if your daughter has decided to go to a public school, I'm trying to see if, well, I was going to see if I could pull this up. Let me do this again. I am so sorry. I'm jumping back and forth, you guys, but these questions are bringing up great stuff. Okay, so I'm ready to submit. I'm going to hit this. Okay, I've reported my spring grades. My fall is in there and all my attendance is in there. So I'm hitting my button. I'm going to accept after reading all of the requirements there. Okay, thanks for reporting. You're missing your education plan. Well, number one, I haven't done my registration for next year. And yes, I am missing the education plan. But if you are not returning, you're going to click this button down here, withdrawing. I did not enter education plan for one or more of my students because they are not returning. Okay, so you will click that. If you have a senior, the only one left, you're not re-enrolling, you're going to click graduating. All right. And then if you are planning on registering, then and you haven't done it yet, remember you do have until August the 1st. You're going to click this first one. Oops, I forgot, or I'm not ready. Okay. Click that and it's going to remind you. Now you will have to go back in and do all that and click that submit button again before August the 1st. Okay. Hang on one sec. Okay. And if you've already enrolled, the school will need to send us an official records request, Jennifer. I think you had that question as well about the student not returning. So if the student is not returning, going to a different school, the new school will need to send HomeLife Academy an official records request. We'll get their transcript and everything. We'll get all of their records that we have on file and we'll forward it to them. Spring and fall semesters are still a bit confusing. Okay, South Africa, like I said, you guys report on a different scheduled year. Reach out to Global. They can help you with that. I can help a little bit. Like I said, some countries are different on how they require. Global team knows all about that, and they would be glad to help you. And that's just, like I said, global, GLOBAL, at HomeLifeAcademy.com. And now you're welcome to email me. I put my email down here in the webinar chat so you can get that. I will do my best to help you. But like I said, Global is better at that. And I know we are running long on time. Started in January. My son had football injury in October. Okay. Yeah, okay, so Katie Singler, you are only going to enter attendance from when you started with Home Life Academy. So you'll look at your registration and that's when you will start attendance. Everything else will be reflected in other records. And I will mention Alabama attendance is different. So if you are in the state of Alabama, contact me and I will walk you through those steps. It's a checkoff day by day type. So it's a little bit different. Not seeing anything about withdrawing on the website. It's not on our website. It's when you click submit for approval that tan box will pop up and it's the last option bubble there about withdrawing. Feel free to shoot me an email and I'll help you with that. I can look up your account. Good night in South Africa. Have a blessed evening. Just submitted and did the withdrawal radio button and it said an unexpected error occurred. Okay. Anonymous attendee doing the withdrawal, shoot me an email so I can look up your account privately and I will see what's going on there with that error. Okay, so I'm looking at the chat. Let me grab some of these. Kindergarten students, no, kindergarten through 8th grade, you are welcome to use the pass, satisfactory, excellent, needs improvement scale. That is an option in there for you. You can use the A through F letter grade scale. We do recommend 7th and 8th grade start using A through F just because they have to have it in high school. But no, you are welcome to use that for kindergarten through 8th grade, that pass satisfactory scale. Good question there. Change teaching materials from bolstering. Okay, I showed how to update that. Let's see. 8th grader did Algebra 1 this year. Do I click the honors on this subject? No, not unless it was specifically an honors course and it stated it with the curriculum, or if it was with a tutorial and the teacher stated it as honors, then no, just you would just put it in as a regular course. For that. Let's see. Okay, I may not be able to get your emails here off of the webinar chat. So if you need the instructions and I don't see your email, you email me, just say AppleCore instructions, please, and I will forward that back to you. I will do that. Denise, I see your email, but I don't have a way to get it copied off from here. So shoot me a private email and I will get that to you for sure. Yes, so I'm trying to get the email. Okay, Cynthia, I hope you saw the email. It's up above your name a little bit. There's somebody reposted it. I'm not seeing any other questions, but if I did not cover something and you feel that you have a question, please send me an email. Oh, okay. High schools are on semesters. Okay, that must be a block schedule. Great question. I guess it's Toy Batson. If you are completing an entire course in a semester, then you would put that grade in and give the full credit. And they're not doing it in both semesters, then you would put the grade in whichever semester they completed it, giving the full 1 credit. Great question for that. A lot of schools are on block schedule where they'll do, and we don't allow usually more than 4 courses per semester when you're doing block schedule, and that gives you your 8 for the year. Great question. If you transferred in January and the school was on block scheduling, we should get those records. And I will, like I said, I will put those in unless it's an elementary student. We don't put records in for elementary students. It's just in their digital file with their records. Nothing goes into AppleCore unless they've earned high school credits for it. Okay, no, you won't have any attendance issues. Alicia Seidel asked, like I said, you are only going to report attendance for when you were registered with HomeLife. Your other attendance will be reflected in the records, and we understand that, and the system will understand that as well. So you should not be flagged. If something does get flagged, send me an email and we'll look at it together and see. Okay, so I'm looking and I think I have seen all of the questions. Like I said, if you're international, reach out to that global team because I know you guys usually do a January to December grade school year instead of the traditional August to May or August to July. Reach out to global and they will help you with that because those uh, other restrictions and things like that. So I think that is everything that I can think of. Oh, I see 3 new messages. Okay. But like I said earlier, if you have questions or if you're still confused about something that I went over, please feel free to reach out. Sometimes my instruction email can answer it. If not, I will either give you a call or, and I don't know what my screen is doing. I'll either give you a call or, reply to your email, but I'd be glad to help you out. And, you can't break AppleCore. So feel free to get in there and look around and see that. So I hope that I have answered everything that I can. Oh, does the summer semester have a certain amount of days? Yeah, it can be as low as 20 or 30. Yeah. Yep. Can kids do a summer elective and earn a quarter of a credit? If they do, you can give them up to as much as a half a credit. Um, and things like that. It depends. Is it something you're going to continue? You may just want to report it as a block schedule in the fall, the next year. If it's a course that's going to go past summer, that's up to you. That's from Miss Lindy. Okay. All right. Well, I think I have answered everything and seen that. And so, like I said, give me a shout out if you need some help. I'd be glad to help you and get things taken care of and everything. And just remember, our dates are January 15th for fall grading and then June 15th for everything for spring. And if you do summer, by August, the first week of August or so, get those put in so that you can start your new school year curriculum as well. All right. And so I believe that is everything. My email is there. And if you need anything, reach out and we will do what we can do to help you. All right. Thank you all for coming.